Hey everybody, it is me, Courtney Francois, here with another video. See, I'm doing the live videos now because being live is it's kind of convenient. It's like I like to record the videos and edit the videos, but now more so when I'm traveling and I'm putting clips together. It's like if I could just go live on YouTube and Facebook and all of that. It's just YouTube today. Then I much rather would. So I haven't made many videos lately besides traveling. So and the short videos I make that I do put on Facebook, but I haven't put them on here because I want to turn them into real videos and real conversations. So we're here for that real conversation about the injustices of justice and of healthcare. So um, I guess I want to start with the injustices of justice to talk about the mistreatment of people of color and how we don't get the same treatment. But we all know that when we just see different things in America, one person can kill a police dog and get 30 days in jail. Another person can kill a police dog that has color and they will spend life in prison. So we definitely get treated different. Two people can do the exact same crime, different colors, and one will maybe get a year or some probation. The other one, you damn near get life. 12 years. You're getting a long sentence. So this story came about because when I was about 19, I caught a case when I was living in Georgia. So I caught this case, and it was me and this girl. It was a lot of people, but I think it was supposed to be me and her together since we got arrested together. And I remember they had her name wrong, so I wasn't sure if she was really gonna get, you know what I'm saying, caught up for 3 days. Down there in Georgia, you could do the like self bond. So we had the self bond. We got out. We came back. When I went and saw the public defender, but when I saw the public defender, she was like, "Look, okay, now what I can do for you is if you plead guilty to a felony, I can keep you out of jail." And I'm like, hell yeah. Keep me out of jail. I mean, the little 3 days was cool. It wasn't terrible, but it was just like, I ain't trying to be in jail. No, I don't want to be in jail. I don't want to spend my time in there. So I was like, bet. I didn't even know what a felony was. And at that time, the internet was just beginning and the internet on phones was just beginning. So it was like the way we Google everything now, I wasn't Googling anything. Like we could be on the phone with somebody like, man, I'm going to Google it. Hold on. I'm Googling it right now. And it wasn't like that then. I wasn't Googling. I was 19. I wasn't Googling anything. I think I was just using the phone to talk and like get ringtones. Wasn't doing too much with the phone, okay? And yeah, so I remember I told my mom, I was like, yeah, so she's saying if I plead guilty to a felony, she'll keep me out of jail. I'll be good. I'm geeked about it because I don't know what it is. I'm like, yeah. She like, I don't think you should take the felony. I don't think that'd be a good idea. I'm like, why? Why? I mean, she's keeping me out of jail, so why wouldn't I take it? And she's not explaining what a felon. It's like she didn't say what a felon was. She didn't explain, like, oh, you're gonna lose all your rights. You can't vote. You can't get guns. You can't. Like, why wouldn't you say all of that if you're a parent? Like, I'm gonna let my son, boy. Hell no, you ain't about to be a felon. You can't do nothing. I'm going to say that. And she just was like, I don't think it's a good idea. Don't do it. And I'm like, nigga, please. I'm staying out of jail. So I get to court. I'm not even sure if I heard the judge say what I was being charged with or anything like that. And do you understand? So you're pleading guilty to the felony. And I'm like, yeah. Not even with the judge. It just makes you feel like, so you're not gonna say nothing either. You looking at this and you like, oh, well, another one. But, so I became a felon. And I was under the First Offender Act though. So, I was on probation and stuff like that. And when I finished with probation, then it went away. So right now I am no longer a felon. It's not on my record. It's nothing. It's gone. And I remember made sure I called down there. I just recently handled this and made sure it was done. So it's done. But when I was going over my paperwork over the recent years, I was really only being charged with a misdemeanor. A misdemeanor. Not nowhere near a felony. A misdemeanor. Like, and that's just the unfairness right there. So it's a 19-year-old Black female in front of you, and she's being charged with a misdemeanor. But instead, you're going to sway her, since you're sure she doesn't know any better. You're going to sway her to become a felon just for the fuck of it. Like, why? 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 Like, what? Why the fuck would you do that? I just can't see me doing that to somebody. Like, hey, I'm looking at their paperwork, me being the judge looking at their paperwork, seeing that you're being charged with a misdemeanor, but then still allowing you to, put yourself into this hole of being a felon when clearly you don't know any better. So that was where I really started to pay attention to the injustices against Black folks compared to other people. But like I said, we see this on TV all the time, the differences in treatments, the differences in sentences, the differences when we get pulled over. Um, when it comes to who lives and who dies type of deal. So nothing is really, well, we know this, nothing is made for us. If you thought things were made for us, if you think anything is equal for us, and it's like a lot of us don't really know how other people live, so we can't say if things are equal or not, but just from what we can see is really not the same. And I remember my mom used to always tell me, when you go to the doctor, make sure you dress well. If you dress well, they'll treat you better. And probably so. I guess being Black people, yeah, you do want to look like you got a little bit of money, so they treat you right. But even with the healthcare part, me being a Lyft driver, I come in contact with a lot of people, and a lot of people just talk. And so many women have told me stories of going to the hospital or going to the doctor and different things being wrong. I mean, major things being wrong, and their doctors just blowing it off and telling them nothing is wrong, and them feeling it. Look, I got this big bulge right here, and they're like, oh no, it's just it'll go down. Having issues and them finally getting to a different doctor or getting to the ER, and it being something like cancer, something like a tumor, it be major stuff that is fucked up where they have to go have surgery and get things removed or start treatments. And it's like, why are we treated this way? And I mean, we hear this all the time when it comes to Black women and having children, childbirth, and how many of us don't make it. And it's like, I guess if you don't pay attention to these things, if you don't research these things, you don't know. I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I'm just going to the hospital and I'm having babies and things are okay for me. I'm thinking, I'm guessing. So I'm thinking it's the same for everybody else, but no, there's a lot of mistreatment, and that's just to speak on the United States, not to say on all over the world. So just how we are treated here, the differences here, you know, the thing, but we also have this thing where we're not considered equivalent to people. We're what 3/4 of a man. We're not even really considered a person or a citizen. I mean, if you really look at it, and they haven't changed that anywhere in history. It still states that. I don't think they've changed it. If they change that and we are like considered a person or a citizen, you could comment and let me know so I can go find it. But I'll look it up when I'm done because I'm more than positive we are not technically equal to other people, and that's why we're still fighting for the basic rights that should just be human rights that we all should have, and we don't have those. So that kind of gives you a glimpse, but some people feel and don't see these things and think, oh no, we have it good, things are okay, you just gotta. No, no. We can make things be decent for us, but when it comes to things like the justice system and things like healthcare, you just gotta hope that you're fucking with somebody that isn't prejudiced and has an issue with people of color. Someone that is actually trying to do their job and not caring about who you are and what you look like. Because some people, when that comes into play, it's like, oh, it's who's coming in and they have what wrong. Nah, and we're just gonna blow it off. We're gonna treat it like it was. I know once I had some cysts, I was having pain in my stomach and my abdomen. I was having pain, and I kept saying, and they were saying nothing. I went to a doctor, and he was like, "Oh, you just have some cysts on your ovaries. Nothing major. Like, so we're not gonna address these cysts. They're just gonna be there." And I mean, never spoke of it again. So I'm having these pains later, not till another doctor, but um yeah, it was like that doctor just didn't just blew over it, and I did end up having a surgery, but later on. But yeah, it was just nothing at all. So, and the same, and it's not just Black women, it's Black men as well. Like, we really have to pick our doctors carefully and hope. And, it's one of those things, if you get a sign that your doctor isn't caring for you properly, then you need to find a new one. It isn't that hard to find a new one. You just hop online and find someone in your network or whatever and get a new doctor. And, that's why a lot of Black folks prefer Black doctors. And we feel like they care more. Even when I take my children to a specific urgent care, I know it's this guy named Dr. Cotton. He's kind of fine, but he is a good doctor. He really cares. He cares about his job. I mean, I think he cares because he's a person of color and we are people of color, but he actually takes his job serious and goes a little bit deeper into what he does, especially when we come through. I know not just me, but I feel like people of color. And you want that type of care. You want to know that the person taking care of you is really taking care of you, not just blowing everything off, not just gonna put you on some meds. I talked to a guy recently where he went to a coma. When he came out the coma, the hospital was overdosing him. They were giving him some med he wasn't supposed to have, and he was overdosing him. They were overdosing him. He kept trying to leave and break out, and they were making him come back. And when he came back the last time, he was able to get out, and he had his family take him to another hospital. And sure enough, that's what they said. They were like, "Oh my gosh, they were overdosing you," and they gave him some type of shot, brought him back to life. You know what I'm saying? Got him together. He said he was barely able to walk. He was having issues. Talking, urinating. It was just, the hospital was doing this to him. Fucking up, fucking up. And then you go somewhere else, and these people actually care and they fix the problem. Like if you are making somewhere else, and a lot of people when they're in the hospital and they're telling their family members they're doing something to me, they may think you high on drugs and things like that. But no, listen to your family members. They're in there. Them people, sometimes those people are doing something to them. And we need to listen to that and pay attention to that, because everybody doesn't have our best interest at hand. Just because they're a doctor doesn't mean they are a doctor for us. Just because they have these titles, some people, you can tell a person something. How you can tell somebody something, they won't listen to you, but if somebody else say the same thing, or a doctor or somebody on TV, then word is bond. It's like, nigga, I just said the same thing. I mean, they're a person just like me, but just because they got this title, you think that they're just super official. So my word, when I said it wasn't shit, but you're gonna listen to dude. And sometimes it's like that. Your family members can tell you much more about health and how to better yourself and treat yourself than a doctor can. And you need to listen to your family members. Not all of them, and not everybody is right. But if you have some that are really into doing research, and you should look into it. Look into some different natural, holistic, different ways of healing yourself and bettering yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can also, and sometimes your doctor tell you that you shouldn't do that. It's like, what? I shouldn't do something that's natural, something that we used to do before we came up with all these medications created by chemicals. So something chemically made and man-made is better than something natural from the earth. And these are questions you also need to ask yourself. You have to, I want to say, use common sense, but it's not always around. It's not. But that was my conversation, you guys. Just speaking on how just the mistreatment of us all around. Some people act like it isn't happening. It doesn't happen. But yeah, nigga, I was just a fucking felon and I was being charged with a misdemeanor. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, why would you do that? That's still a question. Like, it makes me want to go find her and ask her, like, hey man, why did you do such a thing? Like, what, how many people, and then just imagine how many people she's done that to. If that happened to me, how many people over the years have come to her as a public defender and possibly didn't know anything about the law and just got fucking railroaded? You know? Just think of that. And think about how many other public defenders are doing things like that, or how many other doctors there are out here that don't care across the United States. That was just in Decatur, Georgia. That was just one lady in Decatur, Georgia. And there's a whole US. It's 50 states, numerous cities, numerous small little counties. All of that. So when we see all these prisons and jails filled with people, I have people locked up right now that when they tell me the story of why they're locked up, it just doesn't make sense of why you've been in there for so long. Like, what happened is not something you should really be in there. So some niggas broke into your house and they robbed you of everything at gunpoint, and somehow a shootout happened and y'all was shooting back and forth through the door and somebody got hit, but you're doing like 15 years. But how? Why? It just doesn't make sense. And you've been in there since we were 20 and you're still there. Is not understandable. It's the justice system. That shit is just not right. And that's why a lot of men are missing, because the shit ain't right, But that was the end of my conversation, you guys. I am working on season 2 of the podcast. So I'll make sure I put the link up here. I don't know if y'all even know I started a podcast. A lot of times when I have those interviews streaming, I am podcasting at the same time. But I'm doing so many different things. I'm back boosting my juice business. I'm working on the podcast. I'm I'm still getting my readings. I recently got a reading where the chick was telling me it's a lot of things I want to do and I can do, so I should write them down. And I made a list, and the list was long of things I want to do. So I'm tapping into so many different things and trying to not procrastinate, trying to actually make things work for me, see what all I can do right now, actually make a list myself daily, or certain things I need to do daily. Like this was on the list, like you need to make a YouTube video, you need to get it done. And yeah, just continuously growing as a person, trying to get, ball on their motherfucking head like we always plan to do, get this money and be great. I paid for some improv classes on Groupon too. Like somebody was saying, maybe I should act, I do skits and things. And I was like, well, I don't know. I ain't never thought about it, but I look into it. It ain't, I don't mind. So I was like, well, let me find some online. Well, I was looking for a deal first off. Okay, we was looking for a deal. That's why we were on Groupon, and it was online improv class. So it was like bet, so I could do it whenever. So I'm gonna tap into that, and we're gonna, I don't know, explore into different things, but we are broadening the horizons and opening up different paths and different ways of passive income. And we are networking now and being at pop-up shops. And yeah, make sure y'all check out the website, Alkies Juices, www.alkiesjuices.com. I will leave my Instagram link, my Facebook groups and things like that. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank y'all for coming and watching my video. Make sure that you comment, that you like, you subscribe, share if you would like. And I'll talk to y'all soon. We'll be back with another video, okay? Love you guys. Peace.